Welcome back to my channel, Film Recap. Today I'm going to explain a movie called Cruel Intentions, released in the year 1999.
Young Sebastian goes to see his psychologist. The woman feels superior in the conversation and takes advantage of this to make money through manipulation. But this was a mistake. After looking at a picture of his daughter, the boy informs her that he is struggling with the urge to sleep with all the girls in succession, so he leaves the office. She got a call from her sobbing daughter telling her about the guy who was using her to post intimate pictures on the internet. And yes, it was Sebastian. The woman was furious. Sebastian shows up in Manchester to see his sister Kathryn, who is interviewing Cecile for a college admission. Kathryn is no less depraved than her brother, so even a simple interview hides a sinister plan. The thing is, Kathryn has a crush on Court's boyfriend, who pays no attention to her at all, even after a fun night out. All of Court's attention is attracted to simpleton Cecile. She shares the plan with her brother in the hope that he will help her, but it's in vain. Sebastian says there is no room in his diary for such a simpleton. He'd rather seduce the college principal's daughter, who is in her first year at Manchester. The best part is that she has a boyfriend but is a virgin and will also be living in the same cottage as Sebastian with her sister and aunt. Just the perfect victim. If he sleeps with her, his reputation will immediately improve. True, Kathryn doesn't believe that's possible. Then they've ruled out a bet. If Kathryn wins, he'll give her his car. But if her brother wins, she lets him drag her into bed. Finally, there was a meeting with the wager's culprit, Annette. The girl is really pretty, but also smart, so Sebastian's cheap jokes didn't work on the girl. Annette said she knew more about him than he thought. She had already had someone tell her about the guy's real reputation, so the encounter left a lot to be desired. Sebastian visits his friend and tells him about his failings. He wants to find out who ratted him out. And the first candidate is Greg McConnell. He was Annette's sibling and best friend, so he could easily turn Sebastian in. Boy said Greg was leading a double life. He bragged to his friends about stealing another girl's bed in the morning, and in the evening he peeled Sebastian's friend's corn. Then Sebastian asks Boy and call Greg out at midnight sharp. Annette is reading a book, but suddenly the silence is broken by loud music. It appeared to be Sebastian's way of getting the girl's attention. She was well aware that she should not succumb to his influence, so when he suggested a swim, the girl agreed. It was not without adventure. While Sebastian was changing his clothes, she caught him completely out of it. After the water treatment, Sebastian went to meet the two lovebirds. McConnell made sure he didn't tell anyone of his reputation. But he was afraid that his duplicitous life would be revealed to everyone, so he agreed to sail away at Sebastian's request. The next day Greg took a walk with Annette and convinced her that Sebastian was like a scarlet flower and that what others said about him was absurd. The girl believed him and confessed. Who told about Sebastian's reputation? It was Cecile's mother. Then Greg told Sebastian everything. Meanwhile, Kathryn began to rub in the simpleton's confidence. Cecile confessed that she's her music teacher, has a soft spot for each other. And this can be understood by the numerous love letters from the teacher, which she hides in the dollhouse. It's a good excuse for blackmail, so Kathryn wastes no time. The next day, the brothers learn the latest news from each other. And they decide to team up so that everyone gets their own benefit. Kathryn informs Cecilia's mother about the music teacher's affair with her daughter. And this becomes the reason for the teacher's dismissal and the daughter's quarrel with her mother. The distraught teacher is met by the mediocre family and decides to help him for his own gain. Kathryn persuades him to write a letter to Cecile. Sebastian convinces Cecile that evening to run away from home to merge with Sean, but he was not there. In Sean's place was Sebastian, and he convinced Cecile that it wouldn't be any worse with him. The guy started taking pictures of her, but that wasn't the end of it. When the girl was about to leave, he blackmailed her into doing whatever he wanted or her mother would see her picture. The girl was forced to agree. And then the guy started doing all sorts of things. Aunt Sebastian asked him and Annette to pay a visit to the old people's home in her place. Annette gladly agreed, because after talking to Greg she became warmer than Sebastian. A contentedly warm conversation developed at the old people's home. The girl could tell at once that he was not interested in the old woman. However, the boy did not smile much during the conversation and the girl decided to make him laugh. Kathryn finds Cecile confused and asks her to share with her what the reason is. The girl tells him that she spent the evening with her brother and enjoyed it, even though she loves someone else. She didn't know how she felt last night, because it was the first time. Kathryn told her what it was and advised her to keep practicing it with her brother. Only by being experienced would she be able to get really close to her teacher. Silly Cecile took the advice, so she spent the next few days with him. Since his last meeting with Annette, the boy had felt strange. He could not forget about her. To sort out his feelings, he went over to her and started kissing her. It turned out she wanted the same thing and couldn't hold back any longer. That same evening, the guy informed Annette that he was tired of playing her games and was going to leave. Annette was disappointed. She realized for the first time that she might lose the man she cared about. She stopped him and started kissing him and was about to take it to another level. But the guy felt mean about the bet and ran out of the room without saying anything. The next morning his sister woke him up and on hearing of his brother's failure of the night began to bitch at him. Now Sebastian would definitely not be able to win the bet since the girl had left. Sebastian didn't want to lose her. When he found out where she had gone, he went to pick her up. He met the girl at the train station and kissed her. Then they spent an unforgettable night. The next morning he found his sister in an uncomfortable position. She was having fun with Cecile's boyfriend. When she heard about his rough night, she wanted to do her duty, but Sebastian refused. Kathryn blackmailed him, saying that if the whole college would find out about it, it would ruin his reputation. The boy realized he could not keep it a secret and decided to confess to Annette. And then, as the script was written, screams, tears and disappointment. Sebastian came to his sister and after telling her how it was, he decided to take it away, his duty of getting his sister into bed. But, as it turned out, it was unnecessary. Kathryn confessed that she wanted to make her brother suffer, for he was getting everything in life. And she was the ugly duckling. So Kathryn came up with a plan, first to make him love her and then to take it away as her favorite toy. But it didn't end there. When brother left, she called Sean and told him how Sebastian had beaten her. The guy tries to get the girl back, but all in vain. So the last thing he does is to send her a letter and the most precious thing he has, a diary, which records all his victories and complicated relationship with his sister. One afternoon, Sebastian is walking down the street. Two people are trying to find him, Annette and Sean. Sean wants revenge on him for beating his sister and finds him first. A fight ensues and Annette tries to stop them, but accidentally flies into the road where a car comes at her at high speed. But in the girl's place Sebastian puts himself in harm's way. He is killed. There is absolutely everyone at the funeral. And during her sister's speech, Annette walked around the hall and handed out copies of Sebastian's diary to everyone. That's how people found out about Kathryn's existence, and then her life went into black territory. Yes, the film is definitely tragic. There's a lot to think about. But there's a reckoning for everyone.
That was all from the video. I hope you liked it. Subscribe for more content like this, and hit the like button to help us out.